The 1970s gave us bell-bottoms, disco fever, and some of the most outrageous concept cars ever built. Automakers rolled out jaw-dropping prototypes with mid-mounted engines, futuristic lights, and bodywork that looked straight off a sci-fi movie set. These machines promised a bold new future for American performance, but when the time came to deliver, buyers often got heavier, slower, and much less exciting versions instead. Let's dive into the 12 best concept cars from the 1970s and compare the dazzling prototypes to the reality we ended up with. 12. Chevrolet XP 882 Aerovette. When Chevrolet rolled out the XP 882 Aerovette at the 1970 New York Auto Show, jaws dropped. It was low, sleek, and mid-engined, exactly the sort of car people imagined Corvette should become. Its slotted wheels and fastback roofline weren't just futuristic decorations, they teased styling cues later seen on production models. The Aerovette lit the fire for a mid-engine Corvette, but GM shelved the project over costs and internal resistance. What Corvette fans got instead was the 1984 C4, a car that brought plastic panels and digital dashboards but lacked the exotic punch promised years earlier. The true dream only materialized in 2020, half a century after the Aerovette first stole the show, when the C8 finally put the engine where it belonged, behind the driver. While Chevy teased the future, Mercury tried to sharpen its claws with a Cougar that looked ready to pounce. 11. Mercury Elgato. The Mercury Cougar had always been linked to Ford's Mustang, but the 1970 Elgato concept hinted at something far bolder. Painted in moon mist lime with a roofline borrowed from the Mustang Fastback, it sat low on Firestone tires and looked every bit the predator its name suggested. The windshield was chopped and raked, giving it a sportier silhouette that promised agility. This version could have given Mercury a true muscle car identity separate from Ford. Instead, when production rolled around, Mercury abandoned the sleek Elgato vision. The 1971 to 1973 Cougar became larger, heavier, and softer, sharing more with the bloated Mustang than with the nimble concept. The Cat had traded speed and elegance for size and comfort, and performance fans noticed. While Mercury drifted backward, Chevrolet aimed forward with wild designs that pushed the Corvair into science fiction territory. 10. Chevrolet Monza GT and Monza SS. The Monza GT and Monza SS looked like something out of a spaceship hangar. Their curves came from extensive wind tunnel testing, and access was futuristic too. The GT canopy lifted forward for entry, while the rear clamshell opened to reveal a 102 horsepower flat-six engine. The topless Monza SS added even more drama, built for the 1963 show circuit. Chevrolet seriously explored putting one into production, giving the troubled Corvair a stylish rebirth. Then came Ralph Nader's Unsafe at Any Speed, a book that cast the Corvair as a death trap. Public opinion shifted overnight, and GM pulled the plug. Still, the Monza's DNA lived on in the C3 Corvette's flowing lines, and even the second-gen Corvair's taillights echoed its styling. The dream was buried but not forgotten. Ford, however, wasn't content to just imagine the future. They built a fully functional prototype to stir Mustang mania years before launch. 9. Ford Mustang I. In 1962, Ford surprised racing fans at Watkins Glen with the Mustang I. This wasn't a muscle-bound coupe, it was a featherweight two-seat roadster with an 89-horsepower V4. The car wore white paint with blue stripes, a color scheme later immortalized on Shelby Mustangs, and it performed well enough on track to prove Ford could build a real sports car. The Mustang I created instant buzz and gave the world its first taste of the Mustang name. Yet Ford never planned mass production. Instead, they pivoted toward practicality, releasing the four-seat Mustang based on the Falcon platform. That move birthed the pony car segment and sold more than 1 million units in its first 2 years. Legendary numbers born from a concept that never reached showrooms. After Ford's gamble created a phenomenon, AMC wanted to leap even further, sketching a supercar that could have rivaled Italy's best. 8. AMC AMX3. When AMC unveiled the AMX3 in 1970, it looked like something straight from an Italian design house, and for good reason. Styled under Dick Teague, it had a wedge-shaped body and a mid-engine layout meant to go head-to-head with the Di Tommaso Pantera. 6 fully drivable prototypes were built, each running AMC's 360 and 390 V8s, and early testing in Italy suggested it could top 160 miles per hour. The project collapsed when AMC realized it would need to charge at least $12,000, nearly double the Pantera's price. Instead of America's answer to Lamborghini, AMC walked away, shifting to the Gremlin, Hornet, and Matador. The AMX3 faded into what could have been history, with a handful of survivors prized by collectors. While AMC pulled back from exotic dreams, Ford leaned into European flair with a Mustang concept that glowed like a traffic light. 7. Ford Mustang Milano. In 1970, Ford tried to blend American muscle with Italian style in the Mustang Milano. Its long hood, sloping fastback roof, and dramatic Nacelle ducting previewed the 1971 to 1973 Mustang redesign. But the real headline feature sat at the rear. The taillights glowed green under acceleration, amber when coasting, and red while braking, an eye-catching safety idea that never reached production. Even the aluminum wheels mimicked wire spokes, hinting at upscale European influence. The Milano looked like a luxury sports car built for the Autobahn, but Ford's follow-up was anything but sleek. The 1971 to 1973 Mustangs were heavyweights, nearly 800 pounds bulkier, with detuned V8s that struggled against tightening emissions rules. The Milano was forgotten as the Mustang's golden performance years dimmed. If Ford feared change, Pontiac feared something else entirely, creating a car so good that it threatened GM's crown jewel. 6. Pontiac Banshee XP833. John DeLorean's 1964 Banshee concept had all the makings of a Mustang killer. Lightweight, aggressive, and powered by Pontiac's inline-6 and V8 engines, it was quicker than Chevrolet's Corvette in early tests. That was the problem. GM executives ordered DeLorean to bury the project to protect Corvette sales, leaving only 2 Banshee prototypes in existence today. The concept's influence, however, spread across GM. Its taillights showed up on the Firebird. Its sleek body inspired the 1968 Opel GT, and the Corvette itself borrowed much of its C3 styling from the Banshee's long, flowing lines. Pontiac lost its chance to build a true world-beater, settling instead for dressed-up Firebirds. The Banshee's cancellation remains one of GM's most notorious what-ifs. While Pontiac's dream was locked away, Plymouth was busy going wild, building muscle cars that look straight out of a toy box. 5. Plymouth Rapid Transit Caravan concepts. Plymouth's Rapid Transit Caravan of 1970 to 1971 was less about production and more about showmanship. The company built outrageous versions of the Roadrunner, Cuda, and Duster, complete with flared fenders, wild paint jobs, and oversized wheels. These weren't display-only shells, they were fully functional cars that toured dealerships across America, bringing Mopar muscle directly to the fans. Crowds loved the Hot Wheels look, but Plymouth never offered production models with those radical touches. By 1971, the real Roadrunner and Cuda were redesigned into rounder, heavier cars, and horsepower was already under fire from emissions and insurance crackdowns. The rapid transit cars lived on as a reminder of how bold Mopar styling could be, but customers never had the chance to own one. After Plymouth's flashy roadshow, Ford turned its focus to NASCAR with a Torino designed to dominate high-speed ovals, but it proved too dangerous to race. 4. Ford Torino King Cobra. In 1970, Ford built the Torino King Cobra to battle Dodge's Daytona and Plymouth's Superbird in NASCAR. Its sloped nose cone and hidden headlights gave it the aerodynamics needed for 200 miles per hour oval racing, and under the hood sat the fearsome Boss 429 engine. Only 3 prototypes were created, but testing revealed a dangerous flaw. The car generated huge front downforce without enough stability at the rear, making it unpredictable at high speeds. On top of that, NASCAR announced rule changes banning extreme aero cars, which instantly killed the program. Instead of a race-dominating Torino, fans got years of ordinary family coupes, with the Torino name disappearing by 1976. The King Cobra became a rare curiosity, a glimpse of how wild NASCAR could have been. While Ford's racer died in secrecy, Chevrolet experimented with an outrageous Camaro that collapsed under its own price tag. 3. Chevrolet Camaro ZL1 Prototype. Chevrolet tested the waters in the late 1960s with an aluminum block 427 Camaro that promised supercar performance right off the dealer lot. This ZL1 prototype was lighter, hotter, and more exclusive than anything else Chevy was offering. But there was a catch. To sell it as a regular production option, the sticker price would have been around $8,600, more than double a base Camaro, and far too steep for muscle car buyers of the day. GM shelved the idea, leaving only a handful of test cars and whispers of what could have been. It wasn't until 2012 that Chevy revived the ZL1 name on a production Camaro, finally delivering a 580 horsepower monster capable of 0 to 60 in under 4 seconds. It took 4 decades to happen. While Chevy waited years to bring back its prototype dream, Pontiac's radical Firebird idea was shut down before it even had a chance. 2. Pontiac XP400 Firebird Superduty. The XP400 was Pontiac's attempt to turn the Firebird into something far more aggressive. With its widened stance, unique bodywork, and high-output Super Duty engine, the car hinted at a Firebird that could rival Europe's Grand Tourers, but history repeated itself. Just as the Banshee concept was killed for threatening Corvette, GM leadership scrapped the XP400 to avoid stepping on Chevrolet's Halo car again. Pontiac was forced to dial back its ambitions, leaving the Firebird lineup with tamer offerings. Only later did the Trans Am bring back some excitement in the 1970s, though it was never as radical as the XP400. Today, the car exists as a what-if story, a reminder of Pontiac's creativity being boxed in by GM's internal politics. Pontiac's canceled supercar may have been frustrating, but Chrysler went the other direction, rolling out a golden concept dripping in excess. 1. Chrysler Cordoba Deoro. In 1970, Chrysler unveiled the Cordoba Deoro, a concept car covered in metallic gold paint and loaded with glitzy trim. It was more showpiece than engineering breakthrough, built to promote the company's styling ambitions and attract attention at auto shows. The interior matched the flashy exterior, filled with high-end materials that hinted at luxury beyond Chrysler's usual reach. Yet the car never went anywhere beyond the spotlight. By 1975, Chrysler released the production Cordoba, a mid-size personal luxury coupe, marketed heavily on comfort rather than innovation. Its most famous legacy wasn't its design, but the commercials featuring Ricardo Montalban praising its rich Corinthian leather. The Cordoba Deoro was pure spectacle, while the production Cordoba became a symbol of Chrysler's survival strategy during tough economic times. So, which of these wild concepts would you have wanted to make it to mass production? Do you think the automakers missed a golden opportunity, or did they make the right call holding back? Comment below, and don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more stories like this. Until next time, thanks for watching.